What's up, y'all? So today I want to talk about men and my wife inbox. Now, first, let me start this off by letting y'all know that I am not a jealous husband. I trust my wife 100%. I am not a jealous, snooping husband. My wife set her phone down. I do not run and go look through it. I don't just randomly go through her messages. And let me also add that my wife's Facebook and Messenger is on the tablet that we use. So sometimes I'll see stuff come across the screen. And there are other times when my wife will say, babe, there's a man in my inbox. And so I'll go address him. Not to be mean, not to be rude, but just to let him know that she's happily married. There are no trust issues. Now, when there's trust issues in a relationship, it could be one or two reasons. One, the person you know what type of person you're dating or you're married to. You know you with somebody with a wandering eye that's flirty, or they may have cheated or done something in the past that was suspect. Two, maybe you're doing something yourself and you just can't trust the other person because you believe they're doing what you're doing. That's two of the main reasons why there might be trust issues in a marriage. But me and my wife don't have trust issues. But sometimes there are men in her inbox and she'll say to me, babe, there's a man in my inbox. I'll go address it. There was one guy that messaged my wife, and before I responded to him, I went to his page and I saw he had a fiance. I saw her name. Let's call her Sheila. I saw Sheila's name. Then I messaged him and I said, look, the next time you message my wife, I'm going to send Sheila a copy of these messages. And he never messaged my wife again. There was another guy that messaged my wife telling her she's beautiful. So I responded. I said, this is her husband. Thank you. Yes, she is beautiful. And I don't remember, but that conversation turned and he called me a jealous, possessive, controlling husband. Now, how can I be controlling when my wife tells me there's a man in my inbox? Now, let me explain this. That there are men that regularly message my wife and I never open those messages. I'm not even the least bit curious of what those men said to her. I know those men and it don't bother me that they message her. I'm not even a least bit curious. Let me see what the conversation was. Let me see what they were saying. I don't care. But talking to that guy that called me controlling and stuff, I told him, listen, it's disrespectful to be in a man's wife inbox telling her she beautiful. It ain't like that. It ain't like that. I got a wife. So you got a wife? That's even more disrespectful. Then why you in my wife inbox telling her what she look like? You need to tell your wife she's beautiful. You'll never catch me in no woman inbox or no woman pictures, no woman nowhere telling her she's beautiful. If I'm going to tell anybody they're beautiful, it need to be my wife. That's the woman that I need to encourage. That's the woman whose confidence I need to build up. That's the woman who I need to encourage, not other women out there. And you're not going to catch me liking a bunch of women pictures. I see somebody I know and I might skip past their picture. I'm not going, and if I do like your picture, I'm not going to be liking all your pictures. I'm not, and I'm not going to be commenting on your pictures, telling you you're beautiful, you look good in that outfit. I just think stuff like that on social media is very disrespectful to your spouse. And men shouldn't do that, and women, you shouldn't do that either. Because that stuff is hurtful to the other person. I've never been in that predicament, but I would never want to be in that predicament. I've seen where guys on social media, mainly guys that are single, dating. And I've seen where they're commenting and just says different stuff on women pictures. I've seen where a preacher comment on women pictures and he married and he says stuff like, this is so out of order. This is so out of order. Some things you just shouldn't do. So there have been other men in my wife inbox. There was one man, I messaged him back and I told him, yeah, this is her husband. He like, hey, I don't get down like that. He said it like we were trying to have some type of threesome. And that's crazy, ain't it? There was recently a man in my wife inbox last week, and he wanted to prophesy to my wife. One, he told my wife, I've been unfaithful. Let's deal with that. Not that I've been unfaithful, that I am unfaithful. Now let's deal with that. In the 2 years that me and my wife been married, we have really not been out of each other's presence that much. Yes, if I am unfaithful, I'm the best that ever did it, because I don't know how in the world I am finding the time to do that when I am always with my wife. 2, he said I've been suspecting her of cheating, which is false as well. I've never suspected my wife as cheating. The devil is a liar. We rebuke those lies in Jesus' name. I trust my wife. My wife loves me. My wife loves the Lord. To cheat on me, she has to cheat on the Lord. My wife cheating never ever crossed my mind. That's preposterous. He'll tell you he was just prophesying. And the last thing he said was, well, this ain't the last thing he said, but he said, the last thing I read, I didn't read everything he said. I don't know if y'all can hear that rooster, but my neighbors next door have a rooster and he is going off. But he also said that I've been dealing with issues from my first wife. Now, if any of y'all know me, y'all know I am right now married to my first wife. So I told him he was prophesying. I rebuked him and I blocked him. That's what you got to do. Rebuke them and block them. I'm telling you. There was a prophet that used to try to talk to my wife. Now I feel like this is dishonorable and not integral. Like, if you know somebody is dating somebody, we're not in the street no more. We in church. We in God now. You know somebody is dating somebody. This before me and my wife got married. You know somebody is dating somebody. Honor that, because you don't want nobody pushing up on, keep on pressing what's yours anyway. You don't want somebody to keep on doing that to you. What you put out there, it's going to come back to you. So he didn't care that she was dating somebody. He was in her inbox telling her, I want you. I'm talking about a prophet, a preaching prophet. So you know what I did? I blocked him on her account. Look, now back in the days before Christ, if a girl told me she was seeing somebody, I wouldn't care. But now over here in Christ, come on, that shows you that how worldly the person is. Come on, she's seeing somebody. What, you want to steal it from me? But anyway, the better man won. But I'm telling you, it's crazy. I done seen a lot of things in my wife's inbox. And like I said, there are some guys that message my wife. I don't even open their messages. I'm not the least bit curious. There are no trust issues. You know, I'm never going to be that guy in church, my wife talking to a man over there, and I'm steady watching. And then Mike, what y'all talk about? Let me tell you, one time on this job, I went to tell this girl something in another department. And soon as I left, now this woman that I knew real good happened to be working over there that day next to her. And she told me later, she said, Tron, I don't know what you said to that girl, but as soon as you left, her boyfriend stormed over there. What he want? What he talking about? I'm telling you, that was stress. You'll stress yourself out being jealous like that. You stress yourself out. And let me tell you something. I didn't play. I ain't play back in the day. I went to him later when she told me that. I went to him later. I'm like, what's up? You got a problem with me? Now he's my cousin. He's not my cousin. You got a problem with me? No, I was just like, why my cousin? He called me his cousin. We not related. Why my cousin trying to talk to my girl? I'm like, ain't nobody trying. First of all, I didn't want to tell him that your girl is not even my type. Your girl's not even my type. I ain't tell him that. But I told him what I said to her and what really went down. But I mean, it don't make no sense to be that jealous that if you work on a job with men and women, understand that men are going to talk to your wife. They're going to conversate with your wife. That's why I don't get all bent out of shape. I know men are going to message my wife, but when my wife says there's a man in my inbox, that means you are bothering her. That means you're bothering my wife. So I got to get the broom and tell you shoo. Now, let me say this. As far as business goes, and it's been going on since me and my wife been married. As far as business goes, some women, I think they feel like it's out of respect, will contact my wife first before they message me for photography or they message me for videos. And let me tell you something. I've been doing business long before I met my wife. There are no trust issues. You don't have to message my wife out of respect. Just like if there's a man that know me, he want to publish a book. Say I've been knowing him 20 years. He hit up my wife to publish a book, but he don't message me. That ain't going to bother me at all. You know why? Because I'm not no book publisher. I'm not going to feel like, well, why he ain't message me first out of respect? My wife is a publisher. You're going to deal with men. You're going to deal with women. I'm a photographer. Most of my clients are going to have always been women. I'm going to always be women. Men rarely come for photo shoots. Men rarely come for photo shoots. So my clients are going to, look, I've been dealing with women before my wife. All right. And now I'm still going to be dealing with women. So nobody has to go to her out of respect. Nobody has to come to me out of respect. And this is just, I'm still on the lines of men in my wife inbox, but I'm just talking about trust right now. And you got to understand if you got any type of business that the opposite sex going to come. So there's no need to be bent out of shape over that stuff. There's no need to be bent out of shape over that stuff. And like I said, I am not a jealous husband. I believe in what I have. I tell you, people are jealous when they know what they have. I dated a girl years ago, and I moved to her town with her. So when I got a job, and I would meet guys on a job, and we start kicking it, they want to know what brought me to North Carolina. I ain't gonna lie, I would be ashamed to say her name because I kind of knew what I had. I knew, even though she haven't done anything yet, I knew how I got her. So, but she did in the end. That's why we broke up, but she did in the end. So I kind of knew deep down what I had. And I didn't want to tell nobody her name because I didn't want nobody to be, oh man, we done ran through her or such and something. Man, the H word, I don't want to say that, but that's why I wouldn't say her name to nobody. I wouldn't say her name when I meet guys at work. I wouldn't say her name to nobody because I didn't know her reputation. You know, I didn't know. But like I said, when people have those trust issues, it's because they know what they have or they know what they're doing. And so a man will cheat on a woman and he'll repeatedly cheat on her. She finds out. He tells her he'll never do it again. She forgives him. Life goes on. Now, if a woman cheat on a man, I'm telling you, it will tear him. I don't care how much he out there doing. It's going to tear him to the core that you cheated on him. It's going to destroy his whole world. A man can do it. He can dish it, but he can't take it. He can dish it. He can dish infidelity, but he can't take it. And let me say this. This is not even, none of this stuff is on topic, but I want to say, like, on jobs, you need to close doors, especially if you married. Don't ha ha he. You know, somebody say something. No, if you stop it right when it starts, it won't happen again. It's going to keep happening if you keep entertaining it. The next thing you know, you're going to find yourself doing this. You'll find yourself doing this and not wearing that to work. No. Soon as it starts, you got to stop it. Even if you're not married. Say you're a single woman. You're waiting for the Lord to send you a man of God. But there's a guy on a job, JoJo. JoJo keep flirting. JoJo keeps saying nasty stuff. If JoJo sees even a hint that you are showing interest in what he's saying, eventually JoJo is going to have you wrapped around his finger and you're going to find yourself in fornication. Don't entertain the devil. You got to stop it when it starts. Stop it when it starts. Don't let it keep on going and going and going and going. Let me tell you something. Because if I was in the world and say I was trying to holler at a woman that's saved, if she showed me even the slightest interest in ha and he and at what I was saying, I would have kept on until I broke her. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to keep on until he break you. And what most men will do, they throw a line out there. They throw a line out there to see how far it would go. And if the woman shut it down right then, he'll say, I mean no disrespect, I was just joking with you. Now he's going to say he was joking. But if you took him up on the offer, if you bite the bait, then he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. So you have to shut things down when it starts. No way. I remember one time somebody wanted to hook me up with this girl, and I thought she was my type. I wasn't married. She was my type as far as looks, but she wasn't saved. I said, no. I shut it down. Because if I sit and contemplate on it, if I sit and think on it and entertain, then I would have found myself with her. I would have found myself with her. I'm not lying to you. You can't entertain it. Cast down imaginations. And that's how the enemy get us in our imaginations. When you start picturing stuff and seeing yourself with the person, kissing the person, hugging the person, holding hands, building a life with the person, doing this, doing that, doing things outside of God. You have to shut it down when it starts. Shut it down from the beginning. So anyway, y'all, I was just kicking it with y'all for a little bit, and that is my time. But I will catch you on the next All Things Tron.